All right, this is a super quick photo edit on the Promethean screen. This may be my last 10 minutes with a device like this ever, so I just want to make it count. I love this thing. It is literally like the world's giant iPad or tablet or something like that. You just touch stuff and it happens. There's an entire Android tablet built into the back of this, so it functions as a totally sweet tablet. You can draw and pinch and open apps and things like that. We did some airdropping stuff like that, as in like mirroring a mobile phone up on that. You could have a couple of them on the screen at one time. You could share and collaborate and check out, ideas and things like that. That was super fun. This setup though is what really gets me going. The fact that I can plug a fully fledged version of the apps we use as professional photographers onto this giant touch screen. It displays great, and it's also very hands-on for people to come up and touch, and it takes Photoshop away from this thing, weird dudes do in a dark basement, and it blows it up on this screen where it's actually fun, and you can touch it, and it's accessible. And Photoshop is so hard. It is, but that's why people pay us money to use it. But to help it, this just makes it a little bit more accessible. Let's get into it. So I have some photos here. It still blows me away that I can tap on a TV, which will talk to my computer, and then stuff happens. But anyway, so this is one of the photos we took today in class. We had some awesome models in to shoot. Hey, Jeff. And here's a shot. Let's edit. Bang. Opening things up in camera raw. This looks cool. But I kind of want to, it's always that thing photographers do. They get a great photo of nice looking people, and then they want to add a heap of grit and grain and make it look really messy looking. That's what I'm going to do now. So what I want to do is I want to try and darken the dark areas down even more. But if I just use exposure, I'll just use my finger here, it brings everything down, and it's not quite what I want. What I'm going to use is curves. So curves allows you to sort of jump in behind the highlights. So these are the highlights, these are the shadows. You can jump in behind them, bring them down, and sort of keep the highlights where you want them. Now it does some hinky color stuff there. We'll fix that, I promise, don't panic. Let's go back to the adjustments panel. Add a tight touch of clarity in there. Now the color is looking very, very off. So, but not everywhere. It's not like a saturation problem, which is all the colors. It's a vibrance problem, which is some of the colors. So I'm just going to drop the heck out of that. That looks good. Highlights, I might just try and recover some of them, which are the bright areas on the face. And I might just pull a little bit more vibrance out of there. Yeah, that's good. Okay, bang, into Photoshop. How cool is this? Well, hello. Okay, couple of things we need to do. This pole was probably installed perpendicular. The tradesman's pretty good like that, so I'm guessing that lean, that's my fault. Yeah, so let's crop it and straighten it. So I'm going to come over to my tools, grab crop. Now, this is kind of cool. You can just drag it and crop like that. That's nice. What I want to do though is I don't really want to give away too many of my pixels. So I'm going to turn content aware on. And what that's going to allow me to do is actually crop, come on, beyond my photo. And it's going to try, Photoshop, the brilliance that Photoshop is going to try and rebuild the pixels in that gap, and in that gap, in that gap, and in that gap. Down here, there's a foot. with lots of pattern and brand names and things on the shoe. I've been there, I've tried to get Photoshop to fix that by itself. Doesn't really do it, so I'm just gonna crop it out because I think that'll just, you know, and I can just drop the height a little bit, hit OK. That's gonna do some thinking and churning and generating some pixels. I've done a really good job of that. That looks cool. All right, now, color-wise and tone-wise, I'm pretty happy with that. I'd love to add, you know, that darkening of the edges of vignette to this photo. Let's go ahead and do that. Jumping into the filter menu, gonna go to lens correction. There's like 4 billion ways to add a vignette in Photoshop. I'm just gonna show you one of them. Head over to the custom tab, vignette, drag that down, and then I can bring the midpoint closer to the center, or I can kind of back it out a little bit somewhere. I'm just gonna go by feel. Looks all right. Hit OK. I'm almost there with that vision in my head. Vision. Now, what I would like to do though is give it that kind of matte, faded, you know, it's that trendy look you see on Instagram where the blacks aren't quite black anymore, they're kind of a little bit wishy-washy. To do that, I'm just going to quickly do that in curves. So I'm going down to this area of Photoshop here. I'm going to open up an adjustment layer. Curves. Okay. So let's make this panel nice and big so you can see it. And can I drag it out? Yeah, okay. So I've kind of glossed over what curves were before, but let's talk about them now. So curves, this area, it's a graph that represents all the colors and tones in your photo, pretty much. We're kind of paraphrasing like a year's worth of photography into 5 minutes. This area represents the lighter tones. See how there's the triangle with the white triangle? This area is the darker tones, the black triangle. Okay, I'd already told you I've underexposed and dropped the brightness out of this photo a heap, so it stands to reason that there's a lot more dark areas than there is light areas. This is pure black right down in that corner. This is pure white. So what I'm just going to do is grab this little bit here and lift that pure black up, which means there's not going to be a pure black. And if you do this all the time, like if you do this a lot, that's bad. Somewhere there is good. And I am done because Howard's given me a look. Come in, Howard.
You want me in?
Come in, look.
You want me in? You want me in? How's it going?
Good.
Good.
Good, man.
Hi all.
So I framed it a bit better this time.
Good.
Do you want to muck around with some curves?
No.
Okay.
No, I'll let you do it all.
I feel like, well,
to show you how to shut it down, that's all.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm good with that. That looks good. Yeah? Do you think it looks good?
Yeah.
Thanks. Hang
You
on.
got highlights on the picture?
Yeah, no, we want to, let's adjust that. I'm just going to bring that up a little bit more.
There's a bit more colour in it.
Yeah.
It's not as bright. Yeah.
So I was just trying to make it look a little bit Instagrammy, a bit faded. How's that look from back there? Cool?
Students?
Hey?
These
No,
students?
these were models.
Okay.
Yeah, they came in today. I'm done. So I'm not going to, like, you've seen how to save a file before. File, save as. I'm going to put it on my desktop. I'm going to save it as PSD because, you know, sometimes you edit and sometimes you make editing decisions you regret. So I'm just going to save that. And therein ends the video.
Thank you.
All right, how do we turn this bad boy off?
Power button.
That's it?
That's it.
Don't have to log out or anything?
Shutting down. Done.
I'm going to miss this thing.
It'll come back. We'll get new ones, all right?
All right.